My name is Orla and I'm an Administrative Officer in the Department of Finance. So I work in the Financial Stability Unit within the Banking Division. Because financial stability encompasses so many different policy areas, there's a lot of variety from day to day. I normally start the day by reading through the news headlines and reading any recent publications by EU and international authorities, because staying up to date on emerging risks and key trends is a big part of the horizon scanning work of the unit. Some of the more routine tasks that I'd be involved in would be things like preparing briefing material for officials and colleagues attending meetings at the departmental and EU level. I also have to organise meetings and things like record keeping, minute taking. Beyond that, it really depends on the day and what projects we have on. So recently, the unit undertook a project alongside the Central Bank and the NTMA where we ran a payments crisis simulation exercise. So we looked at how the various stakeholders would engage and interact in the event of a payments emergency. Thankfully, there haven't been any actual financial crises since I started in the role, but another big aspect of the work would be supporting officials and colleagues in invoking the various frameworks that would apply in the event of a real crisis. So there's a lot of variety. And through that, I've gotten really good insight to lots of different aspects of the financial system. There's two pieces of advice that I would give. Firstly, I think it's important to stay up to date on current developments in the area that you're hoping to go into. It's important to have a high-level understanding of the main challenges facing the Irish economy at the minute. So this could be just taking 10 minutes a day, looking through the news headlines, listening to podcasts. The Department of Finance's LinkedIn page is really good for staying up to date on new legislation that's being introduced and different government initiatives. Secondly, I would encourage them to get familiar with the capability framework that recruitment in the civil service is based on. So there's lots of information on this on the publicjobs website for anyone who's interested. But basically what it means is that when they're filling a vacancy, they're not looking for a specific degree or X amount of work experience, but they're more interested in finding someone whose values and skills are a good fit with the role. This is a huge benefit for students and recent graduates who might have never set foot in an office before. So once you can demonstrate that you have the capabilities that they're looking for anyone who's thinking of applying or is at the interview stage, I would recommend looking back through all your experience, so things like sports, volunteering, travel abroad, and finding examples that demonstrate that you have the capabilities that they're looking for. And I think once you do this, you'll probably realise that you have a lot more relevant experience than you might think. I would say definitely the culture within the department. There's a real emphasis on knowledge sharing, and I used to think when I heard people say that it sounded very wishy-washy, but in practice I think it is actually what makes the difference between loving and hating your job, regardless of how interesting the work itself is. So as a new starter, whenever I come up against something I haven't done before, or if I have no idea how to approach something, I've been really encouraged to just pick up the phone or pull up a seat beside a colleague. Everyone is so happy to share what they know and to talk about what they're working on. If they don't know, they'll point you in the direction of someone who does. So there's a real wealth of expertise and experience within the department, and to have access to that is such a huge asset, particularly when you're starting out and everything is new and you're trying to take in as much as you can. It also makes it a really warm and friendly environment to work in.